everybody, and welcome to the HopCast.
And welcome to our vacation.
Right, I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder, and you've seen this guy before.
It's me, Brad Stark.
Welcome back. So I don't know what you guys use your nook for, but I drink beer.
Well, I certainly don't read in my reading nook. I usually drink beer in it. So I'm with you.
And I think that's what we're going to do here.
Yeah, so basically what we've done for this weekend is kind of like a getaway for us. This is Super Bowl weekend, and we rented a kind of a lake house way up in Wisconsin, and we thought we'd, obviously share some beers over the weekend, and may as well document them. So we've got some nice stuff that Brad brought along.
Yes.
This Brad.
So we got a couple bourbon barrel aged beers. Cause,
We like those.
we've done a lot of barrel aged beers. We like the big beers. We have one from Lompoc. It's a red ale aged in bourbon barrels, and it comes in at 8.1%.
And this one is from Old Hickory, and this is just like kind of a barley wine aged in bourbon barrels.
And that was sent to us by Brusin Ales. Shut up!
Shut up! Yeah, so this is a North Carolina brewery. Obviously, if you're getting stuff from Brusin Ales, it's usually going to be local. Mm-hmm. So.
And this is a 07, so this one's nice and aged. We'll see how it held up. Should be good with the wax and everything.
Especially since they stamped it. Yeah. If they didn't stamp it, then it would go bad.
Is that a Boy Scout symbol stamp? Boy Scout approved.
Weevils.
That's actually, it's a fleur-de-lis.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Fine.
Did you read that in a book?
I like weevils better.
You see that a lot in like New Orleans, and it's that French. It's a French.
It's the New Orleans Saints logo.
Right.
The football team.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about that, Brad. Let's just move on.
So I think we're gonna go with the red ale first because it's only 8.1, and this guy's a little over 10, right?
Yeah. So let's crack them open.
So I guess that poured out lighter than I thought it would. It's
kind of a conservative red, but like pretty straightforward. A little bit of orangish hue in there.
pretty clear, almost see through it.
Not quite like that ruby that you normally see with a red.
Right. Which it probably picked up some of that darker hues from the barrel, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit of that. It's like certainly on the aroma, it's very bourbon oak forward.
The aroma reminds me a lot of Bourbon County.
This is kind of a beer that you normally wouldn't see aged in bourbon, just being kind of a red ale. And this is, by the way, the Big Bang Red Northwest Red Ale from Lompoc. Yeah, let's go ahead. It smells pretty good. Yeah, it's got some age on it, for sure. And it's not one of those like super hopped up reds. It's kind of like just a mellow red. At least maybe it is now. Maybe it may have been hopped up at one point, but I assume that they wouldn't do that, knowing that they're going to age bourbon barrels for so long that hops will fall out anyways. It's just a waste.
Yeah.
But
it seems like they definitely plan to have the bourbon be a forward element too.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't like, oh, we got a red ale, let's put it in the barrels and see what happens. I think they thought about this one.
you get you get your typical vanilla oaky type of flavor, but I think this one picks up a little bit of chocolate too.
Yeah, well, chocolate in the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It's got just like that touch of roast bitterness, and a little bit of like at the end, a little bit of puckering in your finish. It's a nice beer.
Yeah, usually, a lot of the beers hide the alcohol. I feel like this one's making you think it has a lot more in it, just because of that bourbon flavor.
I think so. I think because it finishes like at the end finish. It like kind of is warming on your actual throat. You can kind of feel like you just drank a spirit as opposed to a beer.
I kind of get that like after after you take a shot, you like kind of exhale and you get that alcohol kind of feel in your mouth. I'm getting that from this.
And this is they say it's 8.1%, but I think that's the beer going into the barrels. I think it may have picked up a percentage point or two from the bourbon barrels. I know I've heard like recordings of the most I've ever heard people as far as picking up percentage points of based on alcohol from a barrel is 2%.
Well, so it says it was in the barrel for about a year, and it's been about 6 months 6 to 8 months since I bought it.
So where would it pick the alcohol up from in the barrel? Is it extracting
It's
it from the barrel, or is it just fermenting longer?
If it's a really fresh bourbon barrel,
Wet.
They call it wet.
A wet barrel.
Because they're skanky. So if it's a real skanky bourbon barrel, it'll still have a lot of that residual bourbon in it.
It knows the beer's coming in and it's getting all...
You mentioned Bourbon County.
Mm-hmm.
So those barrels come in super wet, and they only use them once for that beer. They might get repurposed for something else, but for Bourbon County, it has to be a super wet bourbon barrel that hasn't been used for anything else but bourbon.
Yeah, otherwise I don't think you're going to pick up too much of that flavor and aroma. It's just kind
of at that point, you can kind of strip it out, and you'll get the oak flavor, but you only have one shot at that true bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And so we don't know. It doesn't say what kind of bourbon barrels they put it in. Did it?
No. It just said it was from the heart of Kentucky, which obviously it would be. So
not bourbon. Otherwise,
it's a Kentucky bourbon.
But yeah, I'm really liking it.
I think it's good. I mean, it's kind of a sipper, not really even based on like mouthfeel and body and that kind of thing. But when you feel that alcohol burn towards the end, you're like, this might be something I want to savor.
Yeah, it could be a good one if you know it's going to be a long night. I'm like, well, I don't want to pound through the beer, as I'll drink this just to pace myself a little bit.
And since we're at the cabin, I feel like this might be a good hot tubbing beer.
Ooh.
I'd have to venture down there later.
So, should we step it up to the old Hickory next?
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Cheers.
All right, glasses are empty.
Yeah, that one went down pretty well. I liked it.
I really liked it.
In our beer nook, so let's keep drinking now.
Let's keep drinking beers. Well, I'm going to dig into this guy because, of course, it's waxed, and I just have my keys.
So the last beer was brewed in 09, and this is the 07, so possibly brewed in 06 and then released.
Possibly, yeah. So, considering the barrel aging time, so it may have actually gone through the brewing process in 06. You never know.
So let's pour it out and see what's happening.
All right, cheers to Old Hickory.
Well, that bourbon aroma, even before looking at the color, it's just filling up our nook.
Straight from the pour, just smacks you right in the face, for sure, yeah.
And we get definitely a little more hazy.
Yeah.
Definitely darker.
I think the colors are fairly similar. This one just being a little bit more hazy, like you said. But again, that bourbon is straight away. It's killing you.
Yeah, this one's not hiding that. It's what, 10.2 or 10.1?
I think it's 10 even.
Check it out.
Wow. Okay, that's got some, kind of like, yeah. I think kind of what you would expect, a big beer like a barley wine, obviously, and then putting in a bourbon barrel, it's going to be pretty boozy, but it's kind of mellow too. It's got the flavors are melded together. I mean, simply because it's so old.
Mm-hmm. It almost chokes the throat.
Really?
It's got the same shot burn.
Yeah, it's really boozy. Yeah, we were talking about the shot burn with the previous beer. This one, I would say, stepped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm missing that vanilla that I really liked in the red ale. It's there a little bit, but it's not coming out.
Yeah, I've got a little bit. The previous, the Lompoc had a little bit more of that, vanilla and chocolatey type of thing.
Roast.
And this one I think is more like tanniny. You get kind of like that weird twingy, almost puckery type of thing in the back of your astringent tanniny. Yeah. So I'm not sure how they did this. Maybe they could have whether they blended barrels back together. I don't know, but I'm assuming that maybe they didn't, just because there is a lackluster type of roundness to it, because that kind of jumps out at you. And maybe they could have avoided it by blending different barrels back with each other.
So you think everyone could be, if you still have one, could be getting a different flavor profile?
It's possible, yeah, from each barrel, but I'm not sure. It's a pretty common practice to kind of blend them back together to make everything more consistent. Whether they did that, I'm not sure.
And we don't know the size of Old Hickory that are out there, and what?
Maybe it's
North
just
Carolina,
like kind of like a
South
smaller
Carolina?
operation, and they, you
North
get
Carolina.
what you get. Yeah, this is North Carolina with the Brusin Ales.
Shut up! Yeah, did we pick up anything while we were there from them? Anything else? Did we try anything? A little HopCast road trip?
From Brusin Ales?
Or from Old Hickory?
I don't believe that we did. We may have sampled. We did a lot of sampling while we were there at the bars. Also, thanks to Brusin Ales, she kind of hooked us up a little bit with some good folks, some good beer folks out there, and we were able to kind of walk in and do a little small pours and sample a lot of the local things. And there's a ton out there. Excuse me, in Asheville, North Carolina. I think it has, 14 breweries in that little town?
I think that sounds right, yeah. Probably more now.
Which,
over a year ago.
that's more breweries than there are in Chicago. So we were pretty shocked. We were dumbfounded the amount of local beer that you could get. And I want to go to there.
I want to move there.
goes there.
I would like to live.
I would like to live there.
Yeah, so we had a great time when we were there. Little hiccup with the weather, but I think we pursued because we're Chicagoans.
Yeah. Get a little beer in us, no snow stopping us.
2 feet of snow, rain, sleet. Fuck it. Where's my beer?
But this was definitely a sipper.
Yeah, it's a sipper. Good beer, but certainly something you're going to have to hold on to for a little bit and savor.
And we don't get any of that must from age or anything like that. So
Not a lot. Maybe like a slight twinge of it, but not really. I think they did a nice job bottling, and I'm not sure about the wax. I've heard different things about whether wax actually helps or if it just makes no difference whatsoever. But I kind of feel like it would help at least something.
Yeah.
But
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so, no. I think it's sealed or it's not sealed. I think it's not like a degree of seal.
And I'm pretty sure I asked Ray Daniels about the same thing, and he said, just shut up. And he didn't really, he didn't do the tests himself, but some people that he respected did and found that it was kind of just for show.
Yeah. It's pretty wax.
You kind of have a safety thing there. It's like you kind of feel better that it's wax. So I held on to that. Even if it's not helping, I think most people are like, it's wax. It's a little safer.
It's just an easy way of like looking through your cellar and be like, oh, I shouldn't drink that now.
They wax that. They must not want me to drink it.
It's presentation. It's showmanship. It's
Special bottle release waxed Pilsner usually doesn't happen. Around 4%. It's just.
But yeah, cheers to a couple nice bourbon beers there.
Yeah,
Hey.
great.
It's gonna keep us warm here at the cabin.
Yeah.
And
In our nook.
in our nook. We're gonna go
Can we just sleep in the nook?
I'm gonna go hit the slopes.
Oh.
But you guys have fun nooking together.
Thanks for watching the HopCast.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.